Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to a somber edition of the Missing Links post-game podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Dukowitz, beat reporter for Zone Coverage, and I cover the Lynx, Wolves, and Golden Gophers. And we have Elle Mohs back on the pod, third time wearing an actual Champions t-shirt, sweater in the
Sweatshirt.
frost, has immediately jumped off of the Lynx bandwagon. And because Delulu on Twitter said I needed to wear a pink wig at some point this season, I am your pink wigged host that will be wearing this for approximately 3 more minutes. And then it is coming off because I am getting pink everywhere. Elle, how are you?
I wish I was better. I mean, I'm pumped to be here with you tonight, but not over these circumstances. I am sad. I am very sad because when the Lynx season is over, our jobs are over. Not over, but covering them is over. Our time covering them is over.
Yeah, it's weird because in a way, Wolves Media Day is tomorrow. So I am going to be going straight from Lynx beat to Wolves beat and will be just as busy as I was before. But it is a weird to be in the media sphere of it because you kind of say goodbye to these people and then you don't see them again for 6, 7, 8 months or ever. I mean, there are some players that just go overseas. Alyssa Peely is one where, if she doesn't re-sign next year, I likely will never see her again. And I've done 2 charity events with her. So it's just this weird feeling. But Elle, is it kind of the same vibe for you where it's just kind of done now?
Yeah, I think what breaks my heart about the end of any team season that you get to know and love by covering them all year is it's never going to be the exact same team again. And maybe you know the details better than I do, but I feel like a couple of these players are up for free agency, and it just breaks my heart that this beautiful thing that exists right now will be broken up.
It is. I mean, that's 100% true. I mean, even last season into this season, Chechi gets taken by the Valkyries in the expansion draft. Aisha Hines-Allen leaves for Dallas. There's always kind of turnover and change. This season, it seems especially prudent, as Amanda mentions in the chat. Lots of them are free agents. In fact, the only player under contract currently on the team is Olakosu. They still have Dorca's rights, and I believe they have the rights to the Yukon player they drafted last year and some other player overseas that I'm blanking on the name. But that's it. I mean, it is one of the 11, 12 players that we saw tonight is actually on the roster. What I will say right now, though, is I don't know how Lynx fans wore these things for an entire game. That you guys are insane. That is
Those
so
things
and
are
so.
unforgiving.
Oh my gosh. For the people that were out there, especially the people without hairbands and stuff, insane. Elle, I did want to start this off on a little more of a positive note, though, because I think we will be analyzing the end of this season for the entire winter. I know I will be writing about it. I kind of have talked multiple times of if they don't win the championship, this is a Golden State Warriors 72-10 type collapse. And while I do feel that way, that's what the resume says. It feels awfully similar to 2024 when it just didn't finish how anyone wanted it to. I mean, referees again are in the headlines. Cheryl doesn't get to coach the last game. Fee is injured the last game. In my mind, it's still a little bit of an asterisk, but I do want to ask you on a different note. When you look back on this season over the offseason, what are kind of the highlights that you're going to remember, just in general or as specific as you want? Because it's so fresh. We don't need to talk about their loss in the semifinals all night.
Yeah, definitely. I like that we're taking this route because I think there is, at the end of the day, a lot to celebrate. I think the most obvious is that the Lynx won the People's Choice Award this year. They're the stud buds leading the charge with just everyone in the league falling in love with them coming out of that all-star weekend with everyone knowing who the Stud Buds are, everyone singing Pink Pony Club, dyeing their hair pink. I mean, the videos going viral. I think that was totally the highlight of the year where everyone outside of the fandom of Lynx fell in love with this team and saw why their chemistry is so good and why us in Minnesota love them so much. So that was really cool to see them really get the love that we all see
Mhm.
internally. So I would say that's the biggest highlight. Another was just having that New York redemption sweep towards the end of this regular season, where they won 3 of their 4 matchups against them. That felt so good, just satisfying after last season. And I know it really doesn't have. Actually, you know what another one was? When you and I covered the Bon Iver,
Yeah,
uh,
that was a lot of
media
fun.
media opportunity when Bon Iver was actually at their practice facility playing with all these kids. They welcomed all these kids into the gym, and you just got to see a few of the Lynx players just be so real and fun, and this high-powered A-list musician come in and just be real. That's what this organization is all about, is the egos are checked at the door and everyone is a good time, and I love it. So, to me, those are the 3 highlights.
I would add, Dustin in the chat mentions the Connecticut comeback was a highlight. That was insane. The, like,
Oh,
what was it, like
yeah.
a 12-point comeback in, like, the last couple minutes? Like, that was so
Yeah,
long
that was
ago. It feels like a
huge.
lifetime
I
ago.
forgot about that.
The other event that the Lynx do, and the Wolves do it too, so I do wanna give the Wolves credit too, but they do the, honorary contracts for kids in the Special
Yes.
Olympics to go and run drills and be a
Mhm.
part of the team, and that's probably the Lynx doing it and the Wolves doing it are probably my 2 favorite days of the year. Just
Mhm.
seeing kids get to, like, interact with their heroes and, like, how
Mhm.
serious the players take it too, where, like, Courtney
Yeah.
Williams is legitimately knocking Masha to the ground to get a rebound because she wants her kid to win. That's one. I mean, the other one, the other thing that I especially really enjoyed this season was just seeing, Cheryl, like, kind of the evolution of her. Not I'm sure she's always been a delightful person behind the scenes, but
Mhm.
the evolution of her in the national spotlight where she is, saying she'll dye her hair pink, making, salad tossing jokes with Carly Samuelson. Like, there's all of these weird little, like, just moments of humanity that Cheryl has shown that I really am happy got more coverage this year because Cheryl's a
Mhm.
really interesting, cool person. And I think she gets this rap of kind of being, the grumbly Tom Thibodeau of the Lynx, but she isn't. She's a delight.
And I
Um,
think you and I have talked about this, off the pod a lot, that we've had a very dark summer in Minnesota. I know this having to put on my news reporter hat often this summer to help out our news team cover some huge tragedies, and the Lynx always happen to have game days on these moments, which felt like weird and icky for fans to try to be
mhm,
hype on a day that was so somber. And somehow the Lynx, uh, Cheryl Reeve especially, always had the right thing to say in those
yeah.
moments. Like, she doesn't, no one's asking her to comment and weigh in, but she always just has the right words. And this team kept the spirits of this city that was hurting afloat this summer. And for that, like, I just credit Coach Reeve and the Lynx immensely for that.
I've said it on a few pods that basketball has always been a distraction to me. So that's how I cover it. Like I
Mhm.
try not to be hyper political or hyper negative or things like that because, like, I feel like there's a fan base of people out there just like me who have probably, like, shitty things happen in their life and they escape by watching basketball or reading
Mhm.
about basketball or listening to a podcast about basketball. And I will say this Lynx season was especially that for me covering it. It was just cathartic to be around really good people.
Mhm.
To touch on your Cheryl point, just one more kind of Cheryl praise, and then we can get on to the very intense free agent discussion that's going on in the chat. After that Annunciation church shooting, um, I was at the Lynx practice facility when it happened. I was like just pulling into the parking lot, and the Lynx could have said, no, we're not doing press today. They could have canceled it, said it was a tragedy. I texted their PR person before just saying, hey, I'm not going to ask any of the players about this, but I'm going to ask Cheryl about it if she does availability. Cheryl could have declined. Cheryl could have walked up there and said, I'm not touching it. Cheryl could have said, we're making a public team statement that'll be out this afternoon. She could have said anything she wants to get out of that question. And she didn't. She walked up there and gave a very articulate, thoughtful 2-minute answer that's true to herself, regardless of if you agree with it or not. It was an authentic, true answer that she didn't have to give. And that's just, those are the things that I feel like Cheryl got a little bit more credit for this year, of just, yeah, she is willing to be kind of go against the grain, and she can be gruff at sometimes, but at the end of the day, she's almost always at least speaking her convictions.
Yeah, and it tells me that she is invested in this community beyond just being a coach of a team in this city. She is invested in it. This is where she lives, where she's raising her son, and I think that's why it affects her so deeply, and she feels compelled to speak. And
Completely
I like
agree. I am going to run a couple ads here quick so we can get the lights to keep turning on. When we come back, I mean, I am getting the
I can't wait
vibe
to see
from
this chat.
that people want to talk free agency, so we're just going to talk free
Let's do
agency.
it.
This is a pod for the people. We're going to go where you guys want us to. So quick ad breaks, and then we'll be back to talk free agency. Well, hello. Thank you, Livestream Andrew. This is Ad Read Andrew. And today we have Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, the presenting sponsor for the Missing Links podcast. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling strives to inspire people to follow their ideas, working with respect and understanding to create a quality, tailored result. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, located in Blaine and serving in the North Metro area, is here to help you with your building and remodeling needs. I can say personally, thanks to Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, I have a beautiful deck in my backyard and countless projects that I started, they finished. Get started on your new deck or remodel today by calling Isaac at 763-710-5686. And we're back with another ad read. This time for Pence Homes, the presenting sponsor of Hitting the Hardwood Network. From the best tools and technology to transparency throughout the entire process, Nate Pence and the Pence Homes team is the top choice for buyers, sellers, and is proud to support you and your home ownership goals. Get started today by calling 612-308-1122 or by emailing info@pencehomes.com. All right, so ads are out of the way. Free agency. First, I do want to say Andrew he summed up what we said in 3 minutes in one sentence. With all the bad things in the world, this season was a nice way to escape from things. Yes, that is correct. The best part of sports is you can just get away from life. So looking into this offseason, I'll just kind of set the stage a little bit. Like I said earlier, Kosu is the only player currently on the roster that is under contract next season. Dorka is here again, the Connecticut player that's been out all season with an injury. Lynx have their rights. They do have the rights of somebody else playing in Europe still, whose name is still forgetting me, and I did not Google it because my phone's over there. I didn't reference anything. It's actually right next to me. We'll just be full transparency. I didn't Google it. When we're looking at this team, though, we have no clue what the salary cap is going to be. We have no clue if there's going to be a supermax provision or a stretch provision or a lock provision or anything in the collective bargaining agreement. There hasn't been really any leaks. We have no clue what the draft is going to look like, other than the Lynx likely have a top 3 pick with Chicago's. We don't know if it's going to be the same draft rules, if they are going to make younger players eligible, if Juju is going to be eligible. We have no clue.
Yeah. The Juju news tonight,
that we are about to say. What?
The Juju news tonight that she's out for the college season. I mean, wild.
It makes me think she's going to just go pro.
Yeah,
Like,
literally.
it makes me think maybe she knows something about the CBA. Um, and maybe they're gonna that anyways, that's reading into a situation.
Mhm.
Um, all of that is to say though, I mean, we anything that we say on this pod is purely speculative. I mean, L, do you have any like locks? Players that are absolutely locked in you think are returning for next year though?
Well, what scares me is I did some Googling during the ad break.
A true professional. I just kind of like bobbed my head a little bit.
And it looks like K-Mac, Fee, Courtney, and Lan, and then, of course, Dejanay Carrington, all of their contracts are through the 2025 season, and that scares me a ton. Um, I feel like I feel like Fee and Mac are gonna try to lock in as much as they can. I mean, I think that their relationship with Cheryl and Courtney too. I mean, her relationship with Cheryl is just unmatched. You hear it all the time in the post
Yeah.
game pressers. We heard it at the end of I want to say game 2 presser where Court no, it had to have been game 1 when they were happy because they won.
Yeah.
Um, but Courtney was just calling Cheryl her dog, and she just was singing her praises. I just feel like for their especially Courtney and K-Mac, who are in their 30s, they want to like they want to make the best move for themselves towards the end of their career, and I just feel like they're so locked in with Cheryl that they're not going to want to leave. And same with Fee.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree with K-Mac.
Mhm.
I think the bond she has with Cheryl is like something else. Like K-Mac said
Yeah.
when she signed here, Cheryl called her parents to say, like, I'm gonna take care of your daughter. Like K-Mac had the kind of it sounds like a family issue at the beginning of the season. Cheryl respected that
Mhm.
100%, never leaked anything out, never got frustrated with it, gave her as much time as she needed. I feel like K-Mac's back. I also agree with Fee. I just don't see a world where she leaves kind of this
Mhm.
system, especially like how ingrained she is with like Simone and Syl kind of passing the
Yeah.
torch to her. I think they're locked up. The other one that I'd like your thoughts on first, I really think Lan is like 100% locked. I think
Same. I
she's
think
gonna
she
get a
is too.
boatload of money this offseason to be like
100%.
that anchor,
Yes,
especially
I
now that they
agree.
know that it's kind of worked.
Yes. I definitely think she could be locked into like getting co-defensive player on the year, like, and also just Land's investment in Minneapolis. Granted, like she could take her coffee tour any city and it would be a hit. But I just think that she really loves it here. And if she can and she has a good like in the paint with I just think the two of them together um need to stay. And I think Land knows that.
Well, and V Marie brings up in the chat here, she didn't think Lan was healthy. I'm going to be honest, over the next few days, I know it's like a playoff trope where a team gets eliminated and then all of a sudden everyone on the team has injuries. There's
Mhm.
going to be a lot of injury stuff leaking out. I don't think Lan was
Mhm.
on K-Mac's thumb has not been doing
Mhm.
good the All-Star break. Courtney's wrist and thumb aren't doing good.
And she was grabbing her hamstring tonight,
Yeah,
Courtney
I
was.
I think it might not be like tomorrow that all these things get leaked out, but I think this was a Lynx team that got really banged up in that Valkyrie series, and
Mhm.
maybe we're just out of gas. I mean,
Mhm.
even into game 2. Um, yeah, who asked it? Dustin. Great audio when someone's just stuttering. But Dustin, any word on Fee's actual injury? No, I think it'll come out tomorrow now, though.
Mhm.
I think it was really smart of the Lynx to not put out anything other than out, because that means if they did win, Phoenix would have to kind of prepare for Fee if if they made it to the finals, people would have to
Mhm.
prepare for fee. I mean, I'll just say you don't usually have a scooter for like a sprained ankle. Like that's
Yeah.
I think there's something more than just left ankle injury. I don't know. I know there's a couple of people that tweeted out that there was no fracture. I wouldn't be surprised if she has like a foot strain or something like Dejanay had.
Mhm.
But that being said, I do want to get back onto free agency because you mentioned Courtney. I I'm kind of in this weird place with Courtney, and I want to get your thoughts on it because I think she has made enough money off of the stud buds now to where she never has to look at like money in a contract again.
That's a good
That
point.
being said, I also think there's a very good chance that some team could go out there and make her the highest paid player of her team.
Mhm.
Like she's going to have decisions, and then kind of with Courtney, what does T do? Like,
Exactly.
he is in a
Exactly.
completely different situation than Courtney. She took a lesser role to return this year, and she could start anywhere.
For
And it's
sure.
just kinda like, are they a package deal? Does one of them stay and one of them leave? Do both of them go? Like,
Yeah,
I don't
I
know. What are
mean,
your thoughts on the stud buds?
oh, that's so tough because, like, the stud buds don't really exist if you break them up. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just there's too many games in the regular season for them to, like, do live streams regularly, and, having them play against each other, um, probably guarding each other since they're the same size, I think that just doesn't work. So it's almost like they are a package deal. I remember I asked Cheryl during media days for this season, I said, who is the player that you think is going to surprise people the most this season that's not a starter? Who's kind of your go to? And she said, Natisha Heidemann. So I do think like that alone right there, she didn't hesitate. She sang her praises and continued to all season long. Really shocked she only had 3 points tonight, I think it was. But I think Cheryl will do whatever she can to keep T. Um, and yeah, I don't
And
know.
then
We'll
it's
see.
and then it's on Courtney.
And then it's on Courtney, but I do think Courtney is going to be getting a lot of calls.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I love Court so much. Like, she has just been a joy to watch this season. And game one, obviously, she owned it. It was her game. But I get so frustrated with how sticky she is with the ball. Like, just dribbling for fun. It kills me. It's really frustrating to watch. And especially in tonight's game, yeah.
The early shot clock shots are the ones for me where it's just put your head down and like, "Oh, Court." I it's one of those things, right? Like she's played shooting guard her entire life,
Mhm.
3 years as a point guard. It is a testament to how good of a player she is that she's like a top
Mhm.
5 point guard in the league, but there's still those weird things, right? Like dribbling the ball too much early in the shot clock, calling her
Mhm.
own number, it's I think and a couple people have said in the chat, it's court or T. I think it'll be T for sure. I wouldn't say she's a lock just because you never know
Yeah.
what type of money someone's gonna throw at her. I
Mhm.
think Court's gonna have to make decisions. Like I
Mhm.
I I would not be surprised if Cheryl is going to Court and saying, "Hey, you might not start for us next year if you and T are here, or your role might be limited, or you're not
Mhm.
getting the type of contract that the Valkyries might give you." And then it's on Court to
Mhm.
say, is this situation worth it? Um,
Right.
Kind of going down a little bit more of just the roster, BC and Dejanay. I'm kind of in a similar spot with them where it's probably one, not both. Do
Yeah.
you have any leanings on what you're feeling between those two?
Yeah, I mean, so I saw a lot of chatter online saying just that they were people are over BC, and what frustrates me is she doesn't have the numbers as far as, like, points per game, but it's all those little things that she does. Like, she is such a workhorse that gets the block, that tips the ball off her hand to get into the hands of another player who can run it down the court. I just I would hate to lose her, but I do think that if we're gonna lose a starter, I think she is probably the first to go. Um, I would love to see more of Dejanay Carrington. I'm so sad we didn't in the postseason this year because she was such a menace to play against. That I would love to see what she can do for this team, especially because after this Phoenix series, I think what lacked the most as a viewer is I was frustrated that this team didn't have that like aggression that you see from Alyssa Thomas, that you see from like an Asia Wilson. And I know that Fee is like a quiet confidence, and we love that about her. But I love that Dejanay Carrington is such a bulldog. Like, I think the Lynx need that.
I mean, we said it when she got traded here. I remember you texted me like shortly after of like, this is exactly what the Lynx need. And
Hmm.
then mine was like, it's just not fair that they can go out and trade for Dejanay Carrington. But
Yeah.
I don't know. BC is very important to this team, but I think if
Hmm.
you're looking at like the starting five, BC and Court are probably the two that are like expendable, I guess. That's I
Agreed.
hate I
Agreed.
hate like talking about players like they're just like money, but like those are probably the two that I'd say like if Cheryl loses one of those with that top draft pick with other free agents that she could lure here, I think they'd be okay with it. I also
Hmm.
think BC has a lot more to her game than she gets to play here. Like when she is
Yeah.
playing overseas, she's a primary ball handler scoring, 15, 20 points a night. And here with the Lynx, she's very specialized, right? She gets
Hmm.
the like pin down, wheel around corner or above the break threes, corner
Hmm.
threes. Once a half, they let her dribble it a little bit, and that's kind of
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
I don't know BC as well as I know some of the other players on this team, so I have no clue like what her motives are, or, like what her end thought process is. I'm just looking at it from like somebody who's being underutilized. I wouldn't be surprised if she leaves and is like
Yeah.
the second scorer on a good team somewhere else.
Hmm. Hmm.
Dejanay, on the other hand, I kind of agree with you. I would try and do anything I could to keep her,
Hmm.
especially how quick she clicked with this team, how quick she clicked with
Yeah.
Cheryl. Like, I think Dejanay's, I'm right there with you. Like, lock her up for a
Yeah.
couple of years. You can always trade a player like that if it doesn't work out. Like, let's
Hmm.
go. I see a couple of people say BC, the internet thinks she's going to Toronto. All I will say is the internet thinks every Canadian is going to Toronto. In the NBA, every Canadian's going to Toronto. In the MLB, every Canadian's going to Toronto. I think I mean, she's from Quebec, I think. Maybe Toronto's like a thing for her, but like I think some team is gonna pay her and give her a role. And then it's kind of like Courtney. It's up to her to decide if she wants that role and that exposure,
Hmm.
or if she wants to come back to the Lynx and kind of continue to be a really important cog, right?
Yeah.
A couple people have brought up Masha and Shep. I,
Oh, Jess Shepard had a great game tonight.
she was so good.
She's so reliable too. Like when the ball's in her hands, I truly trust her. I think,
Real
man,
quick,
if we
Marie says BC is from Chatham, about 3 hours away from Toronto. I have
mm,
no clue where that is because I
me
am
neither.
not Canadian. But thank you, Marie. Continue, Al.
Yeah, man, I don't know. Again, I'm not a business insider on how to manage a team, but I just think Jess is someone that this team needs to hold on to. Like also Masha's been great this season, but she to me is more expendable than Jess is. When has the ball, she's in control, and it's just so rare that she like lets a turnover happen when the ball's in her hands. Shocked by the jump ball call tonight, um, but most of the time, it's like in Jess we trust when she has the ball.
Amanda says Minnesota is practically Canada. She's fine. Yeah, I mean, same vibes here. um, yeah, I again, it's hard with like the more role players for me because we don't get to talk to them as much. So like
Hmm.
I've talked to Courtney like 75 times this year, I feel like. Like I have a
Literally,
pretty
she's
good
always doing press.
right. Like I have a pretty good sense of like what Court's probably thinking right now. Jess, I don't know. I know she really likes it here. I know she's really close to Fee. That being said, I mean, if you're a team that needs a center, Jess is probably a top 10 center in the league. Like, and Masha, I feel like I'd be less shocked if she came back. Like, apparently she's been really helpful for Ola and just kind of acclimating to the
Yeah.
WNBA, helping with the language barrier and just kind of being a mentor. And then she's also like super funny and the team really likes her. So I could see Masha coming back. Dorka, I'm not too sure about. A couple people have mentioned Dorka. I don't know what her situation is. Have you heard anything other than
Mm-mm.
she just took the year off?
Yeah, all I've seen is what everyone else has on Instagram, you know, but she's hyping all the girls in the comments, which I appreciate. Like, she's paying attention, staying in touch.
To me, it makes a lot of sense why she didn't come out here because, like, when Jess announced she was coming back, the writing was probably on the wall for Dorka that she wasn't going to be playing a lot. But
Mhm.
yeah, I just don't know what her situation is. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if she's like just going to stay in EuroLeague. We will find out hopefully at some point in the next
Mhm.
6 months. Um, I mean, further down the road, Cam Taylor, if that does anything for anybody.
Mm.
I know Terry Horseman, huge Cam Taylor fan, my colleague. Other than that, I mean, this is going to be a roster that I think is going to be different, which to your point
Mhm.
off the top, it always sucks when things like this
It
ends
sucks.
because it'll never be exactly the same. I do
Mhm.
think, though, the Lynx will have just as much cap room as everybody else.
Mhm.
Everyone's a free agent, and they have the third overall pick. They're in a good spot.
They are, for sure. Um, yeah, it's just not to turn it negative again, but it's just so like I just hate how this season ended with Cheryl's ejection and seeing just that side of her that was so ugh, I don't know. I just want to see something good happen to this team in the off season because yeah, it just was really hard to watch.
It was really, and I'm sure Cheryl will speak at exit interviews, and I'm sure it'll be kind of cataloged all winter here, but to lose the way they did in 2024, where yes, I completely hear people that say they could have taken care of that game earlier, so it wasn't a
Mhm.
blown call that decided it. I hear people that say, the overtime, Lynx could have won it in overtime. The call didn't decide it, but it's still like an officiating issue, right? In
Mhm.
2024 that led to that season ending.
Yeah.
And this season, it just kind of feels the same, where it's
Yep.
like, I mean, I wrote about it for zone coverage. I think just about everybody else in the basketball planet, including Bill Simmons, chimed in on it. Shout
Yeah,
out
that
to
was
the
huge.
BS report. um, but like that, when I watched that game back last year, knowing that it was going to end in Fee getting, kind of chop blocked her knee underneath or her knee out from under her, you could see just how physical that game was. You could see the frustrations mounting. You could see everybody getting more angry. You could see Phoenix players starting to get more under the skin of Lynx players. And
Mhm.
that's a situation where refs have to just hone that game in. Like
Mhm.
when that's coming through the TV, it's definitely showing up on the court. So
Right.
it just, this season is just going to have a bad taste in its mouth for me because
Yeah.
it's, again, the officiating didn't cost it. They could have won game 2. They had many chances to win tonight. They could have won
Mhm.
game 3, all things
Mhm.
considered. But the officiating certainly didn't help. I don't know if you have any
Yeah.
thoughts on that point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that officials are there to because these women are gonna fight their butts off. That they're
Mhm.
all competitive people, and so officiating is there in place to protect the players from these wild, unnecessary injuries that are going to happen when someone is blindly being competitive. And so it's just frustrating when it's not called. And then the imbalances of officiating has just been awful. Like even taking the Aces Fevers game today, where
Yeah.
Aaliyah Boston shot more free throws than the entire Aces team. Like that is so wrong. Like you've got to be more balanced in your calls.
It's and I'll be honest, like covering the NBA and the WNBA, like it is a completely different culture. Like
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow at media day, I need to start getting myself in the rhythm of watching 60 foul calls in 60 minutes because like they their game doesn't have the physicality that the W does. But
Mm-hmm.
like there has to be a medium. Like there has
Mm-hmm.
to be short of throwing rocks at each other and flopping. The
Yeah.
the thing that was really eye-opening to me through all the reporting that has happened and kind of my own digging into it is just, I mean, the guys that were calling game 3 and the crew that was calling Indiana tonight, they're G League officials. Like that's their
Yeah.
full-time job. They're G League officials calling the semifinals. Like
Mm-hmm.
that can't happen. Like
Right.
that's tough. I mean, a lot of the other officials are like Big Ten contracted with the Big Ten. And it's like, yeah, you can kind of get away with this calling college ball or G League because
Mm-hmm.
those players are like 19, 25 years old tops. I mean, you have grown women fighting for their careers and their futures. Like, they're not going to respect you if you're not calling the game right.
Yeah. This is
It's just,
actually
yeah,
so
go.
this is an insight that I recently had doing a women in sports story for WCCO. It's a story that's going to air in the future, so it hasn't aired yet. But there's two Minnesota women that made the cut to be referees at the Winter Olympic Games for hockey. And I asked them about what it takes to like get this role, and they had to start like the way that they climb the ladder and the way the cutthroatness to get to an Olympic level game is wild. Like they have had reps of international hockey officiating in Geneva, in Mexico, like all over the place multiple times before they even get considered to do the Olympics. And then even then it's an audition process even further. And they have this like checks and balances system. Every time they ref a game, they get an up arrow, a sidebar, or a down arrow. And that like tells you if you can move forward and go up a level. And it's just like, where is that
Yeah.
in basketball? Because I just feel like we're missing that at the highest level of basketball. And it's frustrating.
What's, I think the biggest issue I have is the transparency of it. Of
Mm-hmm.
like if I'm sitting here and looking at an NBA ref assignment, I can go on Basketball Reference and find out what each team's field goal percentage is with that ref. Like I can go on like some of the betting sites and see what that
Mm-hmm.
ref, how their calls change between a noon game and a 7 p.m. game. And
Interesting.
for the
Yeah.
WNBA, I had to get some of the information for my story from their LinkedIns. So it's like
Oh.
it doesn't matter. Uh it doesn't matter like how much internal like scrutiny they place on these people. If it's not public knowledge, like no change will happen. It's that way with
Mm-hmm.
everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's really tough to it's really tough for me to see how the Lynx or how the league kind of pushes that forward because that's
Mm-hmm.
going to be a topic in the CBA. Like if it wasn't before the playoffs, like it definitely is now.
Yeah.
Duluth asks, Andrew, so sad after game 5. Do we have any positives? L positive.
Okay, a positive is that
Wow, that was terrible.
a positive is that we'll have Pink Pony Club stuck in our heads forever. A positive is that this season just saw the most sellout games, home games that we've had in an entire regular season. Um, I just think, like, even though it was sad to watch, like, to me, a positive is seeing K-Mac pouring her heart out, crying in the postseason press or in the post game presser because she loves the people so much. She's like, I
Mhm.
love this fan base. I love this locker room so much, and that is a positive that all Lynx fans can be proud of. Is that like these players like really like love playing for this fan base. There
Completely
you go.
agree.
There's a
No,
positive.
completely agree. Andrew in the chat adds they didn't decide to quit, which I'll be honest, like
Mhm.
that's my positive. They had every reason to roll over tonight, and they
Yeah,
didn't.
seriously.
They gave them a hell of a punch to close out this
Mhm.
season. A ton of pride. K-Mac was going nuts. Courtney looked locked in. I think they just run out of gas at the end of this
Mhm.
game. I mean, the other positive I'd say is like it isn't over. Like the CBA is going to be frustrating for fans and journalists alike all off season, but like we're gonna have feedback. We're gonna have K-Mac back. Cheryl's gonna be at the helm of this thing. And if we have
Mhm.
learned one thing from the Lynx, it's they can hold a grudge. I mean, they
Mhm.
held that finals grudge for over 365 days now. Like they're gonna be holding this grudge for another year as well. And I don't think this is gonna be the only semifinals that Fee is in. Um
Yeah.
L, we are hitting that 40-minute mark. 622 crazy people tuning into a hopefully uplifting. If you missed the beginning of the show and you need proof that I was wearing a pink wig, it is there uh, for everybody's knowledge. And I do want to just programming note say thank you all for everyone that was a part of this podcast. It is going to be going on throughout the entire winter. I'm going to try and do every other week episodes with more of the like national WNBA people just to kind of get a feel for what's going on with the CBA. And then this is going to continue as a Wolves podcast as well. The first few episodes will be in the same podcast feed, but then eventually it will go over to its own. It'll be called The Missing Wolves. And people might notice the YouTube homepage looks a little bit different. If you click on the missing links, I am rebranding it just as the missing, and then there'll be a links and wolf side of it. L, I did see a question for you in the chat. Are you making the
Mm.
trip to Unrivaled again this year?
I hope so. The plan is that so last year I was able to go to Unrivaled home opener because I was covering the college dance competition also in Florida the same weekend. So hoping the stars align and we can make that happen again because I connect with a CBS Miami photographer before heading to Orlando. So why not cover an Unrivaled game while we're in Miami for at least one night? So if the stars align scheduling wise, I will be there again. And I can't wait because, as we all know, Unrivaled got a ton of investors. And I think it's going to be bigger and better than ever.
I think it's going to be huge this summer. Like
Yeah. Paige Becker's, like,
yeah.
mm.
It's going to be big. Elle, I do want to give you space. Anything you want to promote? Where can people find you? I know you have your women's in sports
Mhm.
segment coming up
Yep.
and maybe more to announce in the near future, or is it announced now?
It's not officially announced, but I think it's safe. It is safe to announce because I'm super excited. So every Monday at 5 p.m., I have a Women in Sports feature story air on WCCO. But starting in October, the official launch date hasn't been announced, but in October, I am launching a Women in Sports podcast where, similar to this, I will sit down with an athlete, a coach, and just have like a very laid back, more open, in depth conversation with them. And I'm recording the first episode tomorrow with Taylor Heisey. So she will be one of the guests. I'm super excited. I did not plan that. It just happened that way. But yeah, we're going to talk to a bunch of legends that also have like national appeal. So we're hoping the podcast can, of course, gravitate a Minnesota audience, but Minnesota and beyond.
And again, if you missed this full episode, it will be up on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast tomorrow at 7 a.m. Again, huge thanks to all the Lynx fans that make this possible. I mean, I can say from myself, Mitch, and Terry, I think we're at about the 10,000 download mark. Like, my pod got in the top 150 of basketball pods. It has been unbelievable that the bet that people wanted Lynx content is paying off, because none of this happens without Lynx fans that wanted it. So thank you to all of you. Elle, thank you again. And
Thank
we will
you.
see you probably after exit pressers with a bonus episode.